This conference will now.
Good morning or good afternoon, everyone. My name's Melinda. I'm with Travel Central here in New Orleans, Louisiana. We welcome you to today. We're very fortunate. We have Delta of Scandinavia with us, and we're going to be talking about a really incredible journey that's scheduled for next March of 2025. That will be visiting Finland, Northern Norway, and Sweden, and hopefully viewing the Northern Lights. So we're going to go ahead and talk about this trip. As I said earlier, this date might not work for you, this time might not work with you, or you might just want to go on your own. And we can arrange all that as well. But we wanted to share some ideas of what's available up there today and specifically talk about this trip. I'll actually be joining this trip with a group of friends and family, but the max will be 24 and we are at 18. So if you do want to go during this time, you really need to go ahead and book and put a deposit down now. So Claudia, we'll go to the next slide.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I thought we had a little bit about Travel Central on that next slide. Let me just share a little bit about Travel Central before we get into the tour. Travel Central has been in business since 1988 with 35 years. And our only goal always is to, from the planning point to your arrival, is to be your advocate. We are part of a national network. And so not only do we have some of the best available offers and work with some incredible vetted and insured suppliers, we also look to make sure that our clients get the best service. And the greatest thing is when you work with a travel advisor is that person is your advocate. You can call them, you can text them, you can email them. They're always available to answer your questions, unlike when you go through someone else who can't answer those questions. So with that, now we'll turn it over to Claudia. He'll be talking about this great trip. And even though we have the 8th to the 18th, some of us will actually be leaving on March 6th and spending a night in Helsinki. So with that, Claudia, I'm going to turn it over to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Melinda, and welcome everyone. My name is Claudio. I am the local partner for Travel Central here in Scandinavia. I live over here. And together with you, I'm going through this very nice tour itinerary that we set up for Melinda for next year. I can proudly say that I have already guided some of the previous groups to this part of the world for Melinda. So I will show you some pictures later about this. But anyway, why this tour? I mean, let's go right away to the case. Why this tour? First of all, we are talking about very special part of Europe. I'm pretty sure that most of you have already been to Europe, but this is nothing like Paris, Rome, or London. This is a completely different area of Europe, very much up to the north, where nature takes over, where we don't really have cities. We have small towns or villages where time has a completely different meaning. During this itinerary, now we go through it. You will have a lot of, now this everybody talks about once in a lifetime experience. Here there will be several of them in the same tour. So you're gonna have fun with the huskies, you're gonna meet the reindeers, you're gonna meet the Sami people, the locals who live over here. You're going to see one of these snow hotels or ice hotels. You're going to sail with the Hurtigruten, which is this company that sail along the Norwegian coast. You are going to have an experience with the snowmobile if you want. You're going to have an experience with the icebreaker. You're going to meet Santa Claus. So it's really, really a lot of different experiences. You're going to have an overnight in the glass igloo. These are very popular right now. So all these, that just one or two of these is enough to feel very motivated to participate in this itinerary. They are all combined together. We are going to move around in between 3 countries, Norway, Sweden, and Finland. And the whole idea of the tour is that you maximize the chances to see the Northern Lights, which means that actually this tour, the part in the Arctic region, lasts 11 days, 10 nights. Each night is potentially a good night to see the Northern Lights. So you're going to have 10 shots, if I can use this word, to see the Northern Lights, while normally several itineraries, they stop to 3 or 4 nights and then they focus on something else. So, and I'm not sure that every one of you is from Louisiana like Melinda is, but I'm pretty sure that those who are from the southern states, they will find this destination extremely exotic as it can get. How did we structure the itinerary? We start from Finland, so we go up to Lapland. You probably heard this word. It's a small airport called Ivalo Airport, and then we go to a small town called Saariselkä, where we will meet our guide here. Here we will also get your thermal overall, so that you will not suffer from the cold temperatures in the next days. And here is where we have our welcome drink. We didn't include the dinner the first day because the flights are still not clear. So there are a couple of flights that arrive later in the evening. So in case, of course, you can always decide to add the dinner upon arrival. That's not a problem. But let's say the first evening you arrive, even if already there are good chances to see the northern lights. You can see the northern lights with your guide. He or she will take care of you, teach you how to make pictures, and share with you the knowledge so that you can already from the day one go see the northern lights if you're lucky enough. If you're tired, you have other nine possibilities, so no stress about that. Then we start with day two. So after the first night, we wake up. We start from Norway and we go up to the north to a small town called Kirkenes. This is really at the very top of Norway. Here is where we drive. So with a bus, we go and we arrive and we go visit the snow hotel. So one of these places where it's incredibly, everything is beautiful. There are artists coming from all over the world to build up the hotel. What people have difficulty in understanding is that the hotel is built from scratch every year. So they take the ice from they have a lot of ice that it's not missing over there. So they take the ice, they build a structure, they call ice sculptures from all over the world. They decide a theme for the ice hotel, for the snow hotel every year. And then the sculptures have to follow that theme. So there can be, I mean, when I say theme, it can be, I don't know, Disney cartoons. There can be, I remember once there was the theme about Game of Thrones, so everything was based on that. Or there can be maybe when there were the Olympic Games, everything was about the Olympic Games. So there's always some pattern. I mean, there must be a theme, as I said, a subject, and out of it, the sculptures they create these beauties, and then they decorate all the rooms because these snow hotels, they are fun to visit because you go in, it's all about ice. There is ice restaurant, there is an ice bar where you get served a drink, but actually you can also sleep there if you want. But the beauty as a visitor of this snow hotel is to see all the sculptures that there are inside, to see how good these artists are with the ice. Here we will have also lunch, not at the ice restaurant, with the restaurant in front of it, because after a while you might get too cold to stay in there. And then you will have a first afternoon where, if you want, you can participate a king crab safari. So you go out to the sea and catch these beautiful creatures. Then we have an overnight over here, and then that's the following day. That's where our real adventure starts, because we go onto the Urtiruten. As I said, this is a special cruise ship, if we can call it that. I mean, there are actually 14 of them in Norway, 7 going up from the fjord area all the way to Kirkenes, where we just spent the night, and 7 going down. So every day of the week, there is the possibility to go either to the south or to the north. And in our case, we will go from Kirkenes to Tromsø. We will not do the whole journey of 7 nights, but we will only do one night. During this one night, we'll also have full board, so we'll have all the meals included. The ship will make several stops. Some of them are very short stops. Some of them allow us to get off and actually have a little walk. For example, now I mentioned here Hammerfest, which is the only town in the world. The only town that has more than 10,000 citizens, located at the northernmost point of the world. So it's really special place. Then while you sail, you can see a lot of beautiful sceneries. I mean, your camera here, to already suggest you something. Don't use all the battery for the camera here, because you will not know where to look at. I mean, it's so beautiful. Everything left and right is just amazing. And therefore it's gonna be really beautiful. And if you want, I mean, if we are lucky enough with the weather, already also the night when everything gets dark, you can see the northern lights from the ship. So it's something very, very special. We sail at 12:30 from Kirkenes. As I said, that we have one night on board. We have a whole day on board, and then we arrive in Tromsø when it's 11 o'clock the following evening. So it's a 1.5 day, let's say, on the boat. But you will really enjoy everything about this little cruise that we will have along the coast of Norway. To show you what route we do, you see here on the map at the bottom of my screen here, we go from Kirkenes. Now this is just how you will fly from one place to another way, but we sail all along the Norwegian coast, entering some fjords, and then we reach Tromsø on the other side of Norway. Now, why do we go to Tromsø? This is what today is considered the capital of the Northern Lights. If you know how many people are going to Tromsø right now because of the special geography, it's considered the best place. If you ask me, I mean, I guide groups and I also arrange a lot of trips. If you ask me, this is probably, the place where you have the highest chances to see the Northern Lights. And it's not because here, let's say that it's not something that comes from the astronomy or anything. No, it's just the geography of Tromsø, because Tromsø is on the sea, as you see from the map, but it has mountains at its back. So the element number one that you need to see the Northern Lights is that the sky is clear. And Tromsø, having both sea and mountains, it means that when there is a storm or when there are clouds approaching Tromsø, if they are coming from the sea, the mountains will kind of prevent them to go any further. So you just cross the mountains, and it takes maybe 30-40 minutes with a car, with a vehicle, to move after the mountains. And after the mountains, the sky is clear. If the storm is coming from inland, you just stay on the seaside of Tromsø and you will see the Northern Lights from there. So normally, I mean, there's a very, very high chance to see the Northern Lights in Tromsø. So here is also where we spend 2 nights. So you have a very good time to see the Northern Lights here. We'll visit the city, because this is actually, you see here, I write city. It's because Tromsø is probably the biggest of all. It has a very important university. They go between 40,000 and 50,000 inhabitants, depending on if there is or there is not university going on. So when it's summer and the university is over, there are only 40,000 people, but during the other seasons there are 50,000, because there are 10,000 students. It's a very important university in Norway and in all the north. Here we will have a little tour of a local brewery. They have a very, very nice and famous, at least here where we live, very famous brewery, very brand. It's called Mac. So you will get in, you will see the brewery, you will have a little tasting. And of course, we will explore the city. It's beautiful. There is a very famous landmark, which is this Arctic Cathedral that you see a picture here on the right. But Tromsø is very nice, so you will not regret the time we spend over here. There will be the possibility to participate one of the many, many, many optional Northern Lights tours. So you can decide that there are the ones going to the sea, the ones going with a bus, with a minibus, to a base camp. So there are so many options that, if you want, you can join them. Otherwise, you stay in the town with your guide, and that's no problem at all. Here on the right, on the top right, that's a picture that I proudly say that I took myself, and this is actually Melinda's group from a couple of years ago, seeing the Northern Lights. So this is something that I hope we will be able to share together, seeing the Northern Lights. The following day, so after a whole day in Tromsø, then we start moving. Now we are in Norway. Tromsø is in Norway. So what we do is that we start moving towards the inland. So we go to a beautiful place where we meet the Sami and we will meet the reindeers. Here we will do the reindeer safari. So we will meet the local people. The Sami, they are actually the local people living in Lapland who have been living for centuries they are just reindeer herders. So that's what they do for living. Now they share their life, their culture. They shared it with us. They let us know how they live, what to do, how hard the life is for them. We will have the opportunity to meet the reindeers, have a little sledding moment with them. They are very mild, so it's not something that requires such a big action. It's very lovely to stay on a sledge while the reindeers are walking. Again, we picked this place because it's the best place in all Norway to do this reindeer safari. We will also learn how to feed them. We'll help the herders in feeding them. So it's gonna be a beautiful day in contact with the nature, in contact with these beautiful animals. They are super calm animals. There's no risk at all to stay in contact with them. And here we will also taste the local Sami soup, the lunch. So we're gonna eat very local, very special, meal. After the experience, which lasts in total 5-6 hours, so we are gonna be finished around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We start driving towards Kilpisjärvi. It's a small location at the border between Finland, Norway, and Sweden on the Finnish side. And here we are gonna spend a night in a very beautiful hotel who has already won. It's brand new. They opened last year and they already won several awards, worldwide awards for in the luxury segment. So you're gonna have a very special overnight in this location. And it's very important as well. As I said before, we are moving to inland, so towards Finland. This Kilpisjärvi is actually one of the places, not necessarily the place, but one of the places where the Northern Lights tours, starting from Tromsø, it's one of the places where they go when they need clear sky. So Kilpisjärvi is on the other side of the mountains, as I was explaining before. So it is potentially a perfect location for another Northern Lights evening. Here I tried to put a map. You can see it's not so clear, but you can see the borders. They are designed. You can see the lines of the border. Kilpisjärvi is on the Finnish side. On the northern part, there's Norway, and on the southern part of those borders, there is Sweden. Here we have an optional snowmobile tour. I mean, I'm pretty sure that all of you will just do it. It's very easy. We put it optional because there's always someone who might be a bit scared, but otherwise it's especially in this location, it's very safe and very funny to do the snowmobile safari. Now I will explain you why. Snowmobiling is normally it can be challenging, especially if you are in destinations like Norway or Iceland, where the geography could be a problem, because when you do it in Norway or in Iceland, you're doing on the mountains, on the glaciers, so the soil is very uneven, and therefore you always have to be very careful, because if you gain speed, there could be a bump and then you could lose control of your snowmobile. While here you see on the map where there is the red dot there, actually this is a lake. So we are going to do the snowmobile exactly on the lake, which is completely frozen, very thick ice, so there's no risk that you go down that you go in the water, but there's almost a meter of ice, which is a lot. Therefore, the surface where we do the snowmobile is extremely flat. There's no risk at all of making, or getting a bump or so. It's really easy. You just go straight. You have a lot of fun doing this. The itinerary of the snowmobile tour is very nice, and we reach a very special place during this excursion, because we actually reach the landmark which symbolizes the three borders getting together. You see the top picture there, that's exactly the landmark. This is it's just a landmark that they put to say this is the exact point where the three borders meet. So if you walk around this little yellow structure, you actually crossing three countries at the same time. What is very funny to know is that to reach this place in the summer, you need to be a very good athlete, because you need probably use the kayak, and you have to pedal a little while before you reach it. While in the winter, everything is frozen, so you take the snowmobile and you can reach it very easily. So this is what we do this morning when we wake up in Kilpisjärvi. After the snowmobile, there will be time for lunch, and after that, we keep going towards continuing in Finland. So we go to another small town called Levi. Here is where we have one of the once in a lifetime experiences, as if this what that I mentioned so far they're not enough. This is where we're going to sleep in the Aurora cabin. So the glass igloos that everybody knows, that you have been seeing pictures, a lot of them on the social media, on the magazines. This is where we're going to finally do it. The Aurora cabin. It is a spectacular, really spectacular way to spend a night. The cabins have, I mean, the glass igloos, they're very comfortable, they're very warm, and you also have the function to heat the glass in case there's some snow that covers the view. So they are really like a very good standard of a, let's say, a hotel room, but instead of being just a normal hotel room, you have your own cabin, you have your own Aurora cabin, and if you're lucky enough while you spend the night there, you're going to see the Northern Lights. I just spent literally 10 days ago a holiday with my family, me, my wife, and the two kids, and we were lucky enough 2 out of 3 nights we saw the Northern Lights from our igloo. So it was really beautiful. After we wake up, so we spend the night in the Aurora cabin. We wake up a bit later because probably most of you have been up all night to see the Northern Lights. What we do in the morning is that we wake up and we do a husky safari. So again, another fantastic experience. You will be surprised by the noise that they do because they bark a lot, these dogs, but also by the how really committed they are to this, how happy they are that somebody is going with them. They will actually ask you to join them in running, which means that when you are on the sled, like the picture shows here, and there is a little part of the stretch a little bit uphill, they actually look at you saying, hello, you also had to push here. So you had to put your foot down and give a little push because they want you. You are part of the pack. For that time that you are on the sledge or you are driving, you are one of them, and they expect the same effort in a way. Of course, not the same effort, but they want you to be part of it. So it's going to be a very nice moment of contact with animals, contact with nature, a very nice and fun experience. Again, safety for us is always in the first place, so there's no risk at all. It has happened during this year that somebody lost the grip with the sled, but it's really nothing happens. There are 10,000 guides with you, one in the front, one in the back. There will be our guide as well. So if something happens, it's, you just people normally when they fall from the sled they start laughing because of course it's all soft and it's fun. So anyway, as I said, I want to always point out that everything we do is just to have fun, and that's what matters. So we'll never take any risk to make something that could put people in danger. So after the Huskies, we are on the road again. Here is where we go from Finland to Sweden. So we drive a little bit along the Finnish border until we reach a small town on the Swedish side called Haparanda. This is where we're going to spend 2 nights. We have a partnership with a very beautiful hotel, very full of history. So it's you're gonna love this place because you're gonna find out a long story that nobody knows about. In general, I say the Arctic region is pretty much unknown. I mean, I'm European, I live here, and on the history books, the Arctic region is never mentioned. While actually, this is a part of the world that really has a very rich history. Just to mention World War II, this is where the big deal. I mean, this is really where the war has been fought. I mean, for many reasons, for obtaining military bases, to obtain power with the iron mines, and then the access to the sea to ship the iron. And so, I mean, it's really. I mean, different places in Lapland or the Arctic region have a lot of history related to World War II, but not only to World War II. So you're going to be surprised about how much history there is in this part of the world. This Haparanda, so this hotel, is located at the border, as I said, between Sweden and Finland. We are in Sweden, and one of the many particular things that you can do here is that you can actually walk. I mean, 5 minutes walk and you reach Finland. Here there is this landmark that I put here where you can see that on one side the heart with the two countries. One side is on Finnish side, another side is on Swedish side. So we do also a funny thing here, because actually Finland is 1 hour ahead of Sweden in time. So if you come here for New Year's Eve, what you can do is that you can celebrate in Finland. Normally we do that. I mean, we do actually with the groups that you celebrate the New Year's Eve in Finland, then you go back to Sweden, you still have 1 hour, and then you celebrate again the New Year's Eve, just to say the fact that there is one hour difference here. Haparanda is very nice place, full of history, as I said, shops as well. So it's not going to be boring to stay here. And the economy of this part of the world has always been around the fishing industry, and it's going to be very interesting as well how to learn how they manage to fish with all this ice in this part of the world. So it's really, as I said, I leave the surprise for those who will participate, but it's really nice. Here in Aparanda, as I said, you have a lot of things to do if you want, but otherwise our suggestion is that you join the icebreaker tour. This is extremely beautiful, another once in a lifetime kind of experiences. There are not so many words to explain what happens during this tour. I mean, maybe some of you have already tried somewhere else in the world, but this is really special. You leave in the morning with this, in Lapland, during the winter, the sun sets very late, so it's never really high. So you get this yellowish, pinkish light. In total, it's a 3 hours experience. So just so you know, just with practically speaking. So you sail in the morning and you stay on the ship, and you have these colors in the sky reflecting on the white ice. You hear the ship breaking the ice, because that's what an icebreaker does. So you have all this noise of the ice cracking below the ship, under the ship. And then after maybe 1 hour of sailing, the captain stops, finds a safe place where to dock. So you see that you can actually get off from the ship. You can have fun around the ship. Play. I saw lately, the last time I was there was a group of students from Eastern Europe. They brought a soccer ball, and they started playing soccer on the ice. That was pretty special to see them doing that. And then the fun part comes when you actually get these very special red clothes, thermal clothes, and floating clothes, and you get to swim in the sea. So as you see, you are here. I'm on the pieces of ice, because all the ice that the ship broke during the journey, of course, you can swim in it. So you get this special equipment. You can swim, and when it gets really fun is when you have to get back on the ice, because then everything is slippery. You, with these clothes on you, you really hardly manage to move around. So they come with hooks, and they treat you like a seal. They just fish you back to the ice, and that's where I mean, people. This is the special part where everybody starts laughing, and they hardly manage to remain serious for the rest of the day. So this is a very special experience that is included for those who want in this tour. After the second night in Aparanda, we start going to Rovaniemi. We start approaching the end of the tour. So we cross the border again. We go to Finland once more. We reach Rovaniemi, which is the place where Santa Claus comes from, where there's his village, where actually you're gonna meet the real one, the real deal. At the end of the tour, Rovaniemi is also probably the biggest center, I mean town, let's say, of this part of the world. So there is also the possibility to have some shopping time, so you can really have fun here. And then we finish the tour with a last experience, which is to have a dinner in the kota. The kota is the typical Sami tent, so it's all in. It can be made of skin, but also wood, like the one where we will be, and we will have a typical Sami meal around the fireplace. You can see the setting here on the picture on the right, but it's again, it's a farewell dinner in style, Lappish style, and yeah, in a very special location. So in all this, 10 days, 11 days have passed. You have been through a lot of different experiences, a lot of different places. We are combining 1 night stays with 2 night stays, so it's not always 1 night, 1 night, 1 night. So there will be also some downtime. So it's really been calibrated to offer as much as possible without stressing anyone with the continuous movement. So I hope you like this idea. And of course, as I said at the beginning, the background theme of the whole tour is to see the Northern Lights. And now I shouldn't be saying this, but let's say that to be in the Arctic region for 10 nights and not seeing the Northern Lights, well, I shouldn't be saying this, but I say it anyway, we should be very unlucky, because normally, as I said, the majority of the tours, they spend maybe 4 or 5 nights, and that's, yeah, if you're not liking 4 or 5 nights, you might not see the Northern Lights. With 10 nights, it's pretty safe to say that yeah, we should be seeing them, provided the fact that, of course, we cannot guarantee them because it's a natural phenomenon, but we should really be seeing them. Then I want to give you just a couple of practical information, because many of you can be a bit concerned about clothing and what to wear when they go to Lapland. First of all, with Melinda, we agreed that all of you will get this, the picture on the right, the thermal equipment, so not the helmet, but you're gonna get this red or blue. Normally, these are the two colors overall, so you don't have to stress too much about what to wear or not what to wear. But still, it's good to know that, of course, as probably you heard in many other places in the world, it's very good to dress up in layers, to have something underneath, and then maybe a good cardigan that covers your body. And then, of course, what you can't really forget: hat, scarf, and gloves. These are very important. And I also add very, very good boots. These things, so the boots and the overall, we provide, so you don't have to stress about it. But scarf, hat, and gloves are very important that you bring on your own. Sorry. Then if we go ahead with some more practical information, we go to the main reason why to do this tour, so the Northern Lights. You know, as I said before, we can never guarantee. But if you want my guidance or my suggestions for the Northern Lights and to make the best pictures out of it, first of all, we need a tripod. So yeah, the new phones, the new mobile phones have very good cameras, and they can make some very good pictures of the Northern Lights, but without necessarily becoming a professional. But still, to come back home with the pictures, you need a camera, you need a tripod. There are many settings. I'm not going through them now because it could be quite boring. I just want to let you know how do the Northern Lights work. They are natural phenomenon. So it's particles that come from the sun. When there are the solar storms, these particles are thrown into the space. They go through all the planets before reaching planet Earth. So the two planets that are between the sun and planet Earth, they reach Earth. Luckily, we have the atmosphere, because that protects us from being completely destroyed by these particles that arrive. But the atmosphere protects us from this. We also have two poles of attraction. So the Northern Lights are, sorry, these solar particles, they are attracted towards these two poles of attractions, the northern part and the southern part. And when they hit the atmosphere, that's when with the friction that this creates, that's when we see the Northern Lights dancing. So element number one is this solar storm that happens days before on the sun, and then these particles are expelled towards the universe, or towards planet Earth. That's the first element. We need some activity. That's when you say, how strong is the activity for the night? That's when maybe 3 or 4 days ago there's been a solar storm. The second element that we need is a clear sky. As I mentioned before, without a clear sky, if the sky is cloudy, we're not going to see the Northern Lights. So that night, unfortunately, we just go to bed. But because we are in the Arctic, and as I mentioned before, the case of Tromsø, the weather changes really, really rapidly. I can really witness that. Once I went out with a group, we were under a snowstorm. We had amazing forecast for both activity and weather. We go out with the bus, with the guide, and after 5 minutes it starts snowing, but snowing for real, like snowstorm. The guide looks at me and asks me, "What do we do now?" I said, "I don't know. You are the guide, so what do we do now?" We serve the hot chocolate just to make people, to entertain people for 20 minutes, and after that we start seeing the stars through the clouds, that means that the sky was clearing up, and after 5 more minutes we start seeing amazing northern lights and the sky is completely clear. So even in a night where everything is cloudy, you don't have to get you don't have, I mean you have to keep the hopes up, because there can be the chance to see the northern lights. The third element, which is the most obvious but is needed, is required, is darkness. That's why the northern lights, they're actually there all year round. But at this latitude, this part of the world, in the summer we have the effect that we call midnight sun. So we never have darkness, so we can't see them in the summertime. We see them only in the winter because it gets dark, and that's when in the evening we see the northern lights. So these three elements combined give you the chances to see the northern lights, and to make the nice pictures you need to have a tripod, a camera, and then your guide will tell you just a few inputs. You don't require to be a professional, but a few inputs, a few tricks to make the best pictures out of it. So this is what I wanted to say about the northern lights. Last thing that I want to add is that probably many of you are flying a couple of nights in advance. They want to relax a little bit before starting the adventure in the Arctic. We are also offering a pre-tour to Helsinki, which I consider one of the best places, one of the nicest cities in Scandinavia. This is, of course, I say in the south of Scandinavia. From Helsinki to Saariselkä, where we spend the first night of the tour, there are 2.5 hours flight. So it's quite a lot if you consider that it's the same country, European country, because for sure for you guys it's a bit different, this concept, but for us 2.5 hours flight is a lot. And there's the chance to have a couple of overnights in Helsinki. We include a city tour with a very nice plus the entrance at this rock church that you see the picture here on the left. And Helsinki is very nice because you are in between several countries. You have the Baltic, you have Sweden, so it's a very, very nice pre-stop, so you can relax, rest a little bit after the long flight, and then start your Arctic adventure. If you have questions now, of course, you're more than welcome to ask me curiosities, or if you really have a doubt, you can really ask me now after I finish to talk. But otherwise, as you see here, all the contacts to reach out to Melinda and her colleagues for further questions about the tour.
Great.
Melinda,
Thank you, Claudio. Excellent job. I'm so excited. I can't wait to go. I do have to say that we did this tour 2 years ago. I did not join on that time, mainly because of the cold. But I recently came back from Antarctica and realized it's not the cold. If you dress right, you're fine. And we did include in this tour the overalls. So that's all part of it. This has been recorded and will be provided to anyone who wants it. Just so you know, it'll be on our website as well. If you have any questions, though, if you can put them in the chat box and we'll answer any questions to anyone who has questions about the tour. This trip is leaving March 8th. One of the things we didn't include, it basically includes all the hotel nights, all the guides, most of the excursions that he talked about today. And the price per person, and Claudia, I'm probably forgot to put that in there, is $5,700 per person. That does not include your airfare from the U.S. and it does not include your travel insurance. But those things we can all put together for you. We just put the land vacation together. I'll make sure to include that in the email that follows this with the recording. Any questions? I don't see any in the chat box. Anybody have a question? Well, thank you everyone for joining. I hope some of y'all will join us on the tour. Like I said, the one we have planned from March 6th through 18th, next year, we only have 7 spots available. So if you want to join us, please let me know as soon as possible so we can get you on the group. Thank you again. Have a great day, Claudio. Excellent job. I appreciate it. Look forward to being in your part of the world next year. Bye-bye now.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.